Hey, hi everyone. What a hyped music, huh? Love the music. It's better than the elevator music. You know how you get into the elevator and it's slow, and it kills the mood. Hi everyone. Hi team. I see that we have a group of people joining us from around the globe. So I will go ahead and start this roundtable with a hi in a few languages. So I'll go and say hello everyone, hola a todos, bonsoir à tout le monde, and salamu alaikum للجميع. Thank you all for accepting our invitation for this roundtable. Thank you to the participants for being here today with us. Before we start, I would like to let you know that this roundtable is about 45 minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them down in the comment section. We'll get to those at the end of the session. If by any chance the time challenges us, we'll go ahead and respond to those questions via email. And we thank you for submitting them as we move forward. Today's topic is uncovering mining innovation within the Americas. With the efforts of the team behind this panel, we were able to bring together our invitees and have them all available to share their thoughts, knowledge, and experience. I have for you today more than 120 years worth of experience uh, with a global reputation and exposure in all continents. With that being said, I will let them introduce themselves. And since we are all gentlemen here and we have only one lady, a superstar, I will let her present herself first. And by the way, if you haven't seen me for a while and you know me, this is how I look after a year and a half of quarantine. I have a few additions, few white hair. Anyways, you know the drill. Go ahead, Carolina. Hi, Carolina.
Hi, Ahmed. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Carolina Espinosa. I work as a project manager in Black & Veatch, managing projects in different challenging areas. I have 15 years of experience working in engineering projects, and of those 15 years, I've been with Black & Veatch for the last 8 years.
Thank you, Carolina. Fun fact about Carolina and I, we started the same day in
Yep.
Santiago, Chile, and we had a good steak, I think, for lunch, for the welcome lunch. So it was a good thing. Vasu?
Greetings, everybody. I'm Vasu Veerapneni. I am the Global Practice Technology Leader in Black & Veatch, and I basically work on all advanced water treatment processes, water management issues related to industrial, municipal, mining water needs, and have worked globally in Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Middle East, and of course the Americas. And I've been with Black & Veatch for 20 years, and I have around 28 years of experience in the industry.
Thank you, Vasu. Renee?
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Rene Dominguez. I'm a project director with Black & Veatch. I've been in the company for 25 years. My background is in power and water, and I've been for the last 9 years in Chile. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Renee. Octavio?
Yes, thank you, Ahmed. Hello, everyone. I'm Octavio Aravena, mechanical engineer with 17 years of experience, mostly in mining projects. The last 5 years working in seawater desalination projects here in Black & Veatch. My experience is from conceptual, basic detail engineering. I've been in construction stages and commissioning as well. I'm currently working as a project manager in Black & Veatch.
Thank you, Octavio. And last but not least, Ian.
Hey, Ahmed, thank you. And you look great after a year and a half of lockdown. Unfortunately, I'm got a bit of a horrendous cold today, so if I'm scaring you with my pale complexion, I apologise for that. But my name is Ian Humphries. I'm really pleased that you've joined us today. I've been working for Black & Veatch for over 25 years. I'm from the UK, and I'm currently living in Santiago, Chile, and I lead the water mining business for Black & Veatch. And for me, innovation means learning from experiences and applying change to something in a new way to add value to your partners and to your clients. So thank you very much, Ahmed.
Thank you, Ian. And probably for our auditors, you notice that we call each other by first name. We are very comfortable with each other, and we've worked many years together. So let me introduce myself as well. I'm Ahmed El Andalusi. I'll be your moderator today. I've been with the organization for about 8 years. I've worked in the operation side and within the business development. I have 20 years worth of professional experience, and I'm here to support this roundtable today. So before we start, let me introduce Black and Veatch a little bit to the people that don't know Black and Veatch. And for those that knows us, I apologize, but it's definitely a way to introduce us for people so people know what we do. So Black and Veatch is an employee-owned engineer, procurement, consultant, and construction company with more than 100 years legacy of innovation and sustainable infrastructure. Black and Veatch has more than 8,700 employees worldwide, spread in the 6th continent. Black and Veatch serves within many industries. We have water, mining, power, telecom, data center, oil and gas, and many others. Black and Veatch, with its diversified background, supports its clients at all levels of project lifecycle. Today, Black and Veatch is leading the industry in innovation, decarbonization, electrical mobility, hydrogen solution, desalination and water treatment, renewable and optimization, due diligence and procurement, water conveyance, and piping, and everything in between. Some people know us over here in Latin America that we are specialists in desalination. That was the first project, one of the first projects that we managed over here in Chile. However, our expertise go beyond water and desalination and go to the other divisions that I have mentioned previously. So when we were preparing this roundtable, we asked ourselves a few important questions. And one of them was, how do we get companies to be more innovative, drive the change, invest in new ideas and new technologies? We thought it's a valid question. However, we wanted to give it a little more. So Ian, what do you think about the question itself?
Yeah, well, thank you, Ahmed. I guess we need to recognize that our world is changing and changing fast, and we see and feel that impact every day with our clients. Black and Veatch has been successful, and other companies as well. We've been successful for over 100 years, not because we've stayed the same, but because we evolve. And as the world keeps changing around us, we must continue to change and keep up with it. The time is now for us to innovate and reinvent ourselves as we develop new solutions for our clients and provide them with maximum value. At Black and Veatch, our CEO leads our drive to be the most innovative and rapidly evolving company in engineering and construction. And we do this for our most valuable resource, which is our people. And an inclusive and a diverse workplace is an incubator for innovative thinking, which creates and sustains a more diverse and equitable and inclusive work environment, beginning and seeing and treating each other as equals. So I really look forward to hearing from my team today on how we can take these words from Steve and apply our innovative thinking into the projects through our experiences. And we're going to kick off today with Rene Dominguez talking about his thoughts on innovation.
Thank you, Ian, for that. Innovation is much more than just new gadgets and new inventions. Innovation at its core is about connecting needs with practical solutions. And in Black and Veatch, we innovate by supporting our client unique needs. We will not push technologies or a specific manufacturer. We are technology agnostic. The best practical solution will come from listening to our client goals and drivers, from evaluating all new and old technologies available, from disclosing the pros and the cons and the cost of each one of the options evaluated, from doing due diligence on the pricing alternatives that meet the project goals. Sustainable water development, for example, is much more than just desalination. We will therefore look at all permittable and sustainable options: reuse, optimization, reclaimed water, water beneath tailing dams, and others. If a client has a decarbonization and sustainability commitments, we can also help by making the design as efficient as possible, by powering it from renewable energy. A client wants to move a control room from the mine to a city, no problem. We can support the move. our focus will always be meeting our client needs, because building long-lasting relations start with solving one problem at a time. Innovative and refreshing is also our flexibility and willingness to cooperate. No project is too small or too large. Do you want a specific contract arrangements? We can work on that. We can take in multiple execution strategies. At the end of the day, we will bring value to your challenge. From the front end studies to procurement, construction, commissioning, supporting operations, we're here to help you develop notice solutions which are specific that to meet your needs. And with that said, I go back to you, Ame.
Thank you. Well, before we pass it around to Octavio, I just want to also add an fun fact. Renee, 8 years ago, hired me in a 10-minute conversation in one of the restaurants in the U.S., and that was the only time I can land with Renee for a conversation. But it worked out very well, and since then I've been a pain in his behind, and I'm still a pain dragging him to this thing. So thank you, Renee, for everything you've done. Octavio, what do you think about what Renee said and how we move forward from here?
Thank you, Amen. Thank you, Rene. Yes, I would like to talk about something that is crucial in any innovation project, in any project in general, which is the planning and the coordination that we have to have in any project. And I don't want to spend time to talk about the budget, the man hours. We always know that it's not enough. It's typical that we start late a project. It's typical the changes that we have during the execution of the project, and then we have to replan, recoordinate everything. That's normal, and I don't think we have a magic recipe to solve that issue. But I've seen benefits if we have a strong plan, and I'm thinking in two topics beside the early planning. I'm thinking that a plan must be flexible, and a plan should be self-explanatory. When I say a plan to be flexible is precisely to cope those future changes. So the question is how to have a plan that is flexible enough. Well, I'm thinking for example, to have involve the key players, future key players in the project in that planning. I'm thinking in purchase people, construction people, commissioning people, safety people, very important, maybe the client, maybe the operators, all together. If they are able to collaborate in that plan, we will have a more flexible plan. Some other way to say it's like we need to think how this is going to be installed afterwards during the execution. How am I going to transport this from factory to the site, etc. We need to have all this risk analysis, what if analysis, workshops, and if feasible, if technical feasible, why not to have a design that is flexible for changes as well. The second topic I mentioned is that the plan should be self-explanatory. And I mean, I've seen schedules, spare parts, log for purchase, that they have a lot of acronyms, short titles, or they are simply confusing. Confusing. Yeah. That cannot happen. And the only person who can solve or clarify the issue is the owner of that planning. And that cannot happen because sometimes that person is no longer in the project. Maybe the people left the project and the people on site is another kind of team, and they don't know how to do with the plan. So this is why the plan, every document that includes the plan should be self-explanatory. Again, we need to think when we are in the detail engineer and basic engineering to think, I might not be here in the project when this is still being used on site. So I need to be very clear for the people who's going to be on site. If we achieve to do that, I'm very confident that the planning will be helpful for daily coordinations, for daily plan, and importantly, for changes.
Right. And you, by saying we might not be here or you might not be here, it doesn't mean that you left the project. That means you got a promotion and you went to the next step, and you're doing something else.
I might be on my days off for example.
There you go.
And
There
people
you
will
go,
have
there
to
you go.
wait for the whole week until I'm able to explain what I meant here, for example.
Right. Perfect. Carolina, you have something similar, I think, on the quality side of the work.
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with Octavio. The plan is key in order to move forward with the innovation, to innovate. But also, I think that how we execute the work, because as we are part of engineering companies, you know that all companies ask us to follow process and procedures. And I completely agree with Ian that Black and Bit really support us to innovate, to do things differently, because we have the flexibility to adapt our process to new ideas and to new way of doing things. And that's great, being part of a place that you are really able to innovate if it's required. And that's key now when the client requires us to do things differently. So I think that one key point for innovation is flexibility and the freedom that the organization give us to think different. And another thing that it's been important for innovation, it's how we address the projects. For instance, in one project we did that, the purpose of the project was to ensure water availability in the long term for mining production. That project started with more than 100 possible different solutions. It's a lot, but I think that was really important that not idea was left out of the solution pools.
Thinking outside of the box in every aspect of it.
Yep. Yeah, because later you always have to cut those solutions to define a little bit, and we combine those solutions to generate alternatives that can ensure the final goal. In that case was to have water available to keep our process, regardless climate change, regardless continental water availability. At the end, it was to be resilient to drought and climate change. So in this case, all solutions were considered and were analyzed from different areas, not only from the technical feasibility point of view, but also to define which solution move forward. We analyzed permits, social affairs, environmental aspects. And I really want to point here that normally we think about innovation regarding technical solutions, regarding technology, but it's also critical to innovate in how we present the projects, the strategy to evaluate the solutions, how we weight those different areas which are not technical into the evaluation. So
Right.
I think that that's also key to have a holistic, a complete evaluation of a project.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because we our marketing team, and thank you, shout out to the marketing team, they did a poll for us in LinkedIn, and they went out and if we can see the poll, right, I think they're gonna post the poll very soon. We get to see right here. We asked the people, what do you think the companies need to invest most in terms of innovation, and they said we asked strategy, technology, solutions, or processes, but most of the people think, and they agree, that technology is the drive for innovation. And that, with that being said, I would like to ask Vasu, which is our chief technology and our guru on that. What do you think about that? Is that definitely the drive for innovation, or can we consider the other ones as well?
Yeah, meaning the results of that survey, they're kind of expected. People associate, innovation with the technology often, like your iPhone or a new computer or new technology. But one interesting thing is, if you look at the technology, that is like half of it, but the remaining half of the people picked other things. So like Octavio and Carolina explained, other things are, equally important. But talking about the technology, again, people think of innovation being a step change, some significant change. But it doesn't have to be a significant change. Even incremental changes can add up to a significant change. For example, look at some of the desalination projects that are happening around the world, particularly in the mining area for the new water supply. There have been some step changes. The last one being, say, a newer energy recovery device that reduced energy consumption by 5 to 10%. A significant step change happened in the last 15 years or so. But then there have been incremental changes year after year that contributed, 2%, 3% in some aspect, either cost or energy efficiency, with better membranes, better design, better execution. That made it a lot more affordable than one single step change. Oftentimes innovation, no matter how big or small, makes things more affordable and make other water sources to be available for use, basically an alternative source. But we do need some step changes in other areas, and we are seeing tremendous progress in those areas. That is the treatment of difficult to treat water. For example, your tailings water or your process wastewater or reject water from the RO processes.
Right.
All these are, characterized by extreme water qualities. Like, there is some water in Australia where they have 200,000 milligrams per liter of salinity. When you're treating water like that, your standard processes like reverse osmosis or something goes out because of the pressure limitations. Thermal will work, but it is really expensive, both the
Right.
capital and operating costs. So, for example, recently for a couple of our clients, they told us actually that we want a solution, and we have to go for breakthrough technologies. Okay, instead of boiling the water, how about freezing the water? That is in a developmental stage or early commercialization stages, and we evaluated that bench scale and up to the bench scale level, and it is viable. Not only viable, it competes and is cheaper than the traditional technology. Similarly, solvent extraction or repackaging of an old technology like electrodialysis. All these surprisingly are more stable. They can treat the water that other technologies cannot treat, and are cost competitive.
Right, and I think this is something that Octavio is working right now with one of our
Yes.
mining clients. He's doing something similar right now on that aspect.
Yes, I can give that example. This is an HDD technology, horizontal directional drilling. I'm not talking about the HDD itself, which is just crossing for a river, a water pipe, or some electrical conduits. That's beyond that. This is trying to install with an HDD a slotted pipe to collect that infiltrated water. This project with this mining client, they have the tailing dam with no carpet, HDP carpet or something similar on the bottom, so they are losing water due infiltration. Of course, they lose water due evaporation, but that water that is lost due infiltration, they are not recovering it. They currently recover water from normal, typical ways, barge pumps and everything. But the challenge that we have today is how to get that water.
Right.
So first of all, we need to have some site campaign to perform some boreholes, to do some hydrogeological study analysis to say, well, this is the amount of water that we could recover from underground. We need to give an answer to that question first, and if that answer to the client is economically feasible, attractive, then the second question is, well, now how do I get that water from underground? And that's the challenging, because we will have to have about 1 kilometer of HDD and horizontal drilling, and then we will have to have same length of that slotted pipe, which is going to be very difficult.
And it's that within the tailend, inside the tailend, to collect that water?
Under the pond. Under the pond. And then once we achieve to install that 1 kilometer slotted pipe, then the question is, well, now how do I get that water? How do I pump that water out of the pipe? So it is a challenging design that our engineers, our experts are dealing with. I'm very confident that the solution that they come up with that will be for sure innovation, for sure. This is what is called a one-of-a-kind project.
Right. Well, to be one of a kind of project, you definitely got to have other other partners helping you with that.
For sure.
You need support, and I think that's something that Ian is very interested in to talk about. It was something that came up in our conversation previously.
Yeah, definitely, Ahmed, and thank you for leading me into that, because of it's just impossible to think that, as one company, you can have everything in house to be the most innovative company every day. That's just would be bizarre to think that way. Learning comes from experience, and exposing yourself to different company cultures and collaborating can actually pull those talents together to think differently. Just like I mentioned earlier, having a diverse workforce actually drives different thinking. This is exactly the same when you're working in partnerships with many other companies. So we and our partners strive to work with each other to utilize our collective knowledge and assist problem solving and execution for our clients. And we try to do this openly without any egos and as humbly as we can. We don't mind if we're the prime, we don't mind if we're a sub, or we're in a partnership, because with every project will come a challenge, and with every challenge overcome will grow the culture and the capability to be more innovative next time. So, we do enjoy great success working with many other companies, and we see them as partners and not competition. And as a team, we can recognize the rewards for the clients. And Rene, you've done a lot of this in practice. So, can you explain, how this actually works out?
Yeah, thank you, Ian, for that. Indeed, successful projects to begin with are those ones which meet the client needs and goals. And a consequence of a successful project is that the communities, the contractors, the vendors, the local economy in general will benefit from those successes. But this can only take place when all the stakeholders row in the same direction, when they work together towards a common goal. If we want long-lasting distances, sure, but they need to be grown solving one challenge at a time with the common goal of the project in mind. When our clients and our subcontractors and vendors and other partners in general realize that our goal is to make all project stakeholders successful, they become part of the team. We all row in the same direction. They become project advocates. The projects that are managed and executed with that common goal in mind are most likely to be successful than other ones that pursue the adversarial route. You know, for some companies, the project below a certain value is not worth pursuing. We believe that there's no project that is too small or too large. All the project stages are relevant. As a matter of fact, front-end studies have the unparalleled advantage to provide cost optimization and schedule optimization. Then we move to execute, to engineer, to procure, and in construct, commission, support operation. But we cannot do that without the support of our clients, our subcontractors, and our vendors. It will be naive that we can do that. Therefore, innovation is not just about technology.
Right.
We need to fuel that innovative mind with a humble, fair, and flexible approach that adapts to the changing needs of the project. Project is about change. That's the only constant in a project. It's going to be a continuous change. How we face, how we adapt to it, how we cooperate with each other to solve the issues is what make a project successful. One of the best partnering tools that we can find is to place ourselves in the shoes of our clients and our subcontractors. Listen to understand, to develop win-win situations. If we don't do that, we start adversarial relation and people start instead of pulling the same direction, pulling against each other. So, but to do all this, it's paramount that we maintain front and center our client objectives and goals. With that said, I'm back to you.
Rene, I have a question for you. Of course, in a life cycle of a project, and as you said, a win-win, situation for everyone, client, us, our counter partners. You manage to gather a load of information and lessons learned. How do you apply that in your futures, that in a future project that comes, and how do you innovate gathering the information to the next project and similar?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, the first step towards continuous improvement is humbleness. So take out safety statistics, for example. The true goal of any safety program needs to be no incidents every day, every month, every year. No incident, never. So that's, many will say, well, that's that's just impossible. In Black and Beach, we believe that we can get every time closer if we learn from past issues.
Rene,
If
is
we
that
keep a lesson learned.
is that the concept of safety by design as we have it now?
That's one of the concepts of safety for design. In design, absolutely, try to mitigate the issues before, engineer the issues out before they ever hit site. So, indeed, that's a good point, Ahmed. We believe that in capturing the lessons learned continuously, and this is not only about safety. We in general continue getting better, and we'll get closer every time closer to achieving and improving our process and procedure if we apply the same perspective to all the activities that we do. And is especially relevant is that we review those lessons learned from the local perspective, because what is applicable here in Chile, for example, might not be applicable in Asia or the US or elsewhere. The lesson learned mean an open space for the stakeholder to freely bring their issues and opinions with the goal of improving. Assigning blame is not what we seek. Solution is always a goal. Solution and continuous improvement. The lessons are focused in the project lifecycle from the different disciplines, from client communication, safety, quality, execution, etc. And what we do is identify, record, and then distribute the lesson learned to current and future project stakeholders, including clients. So they help us they are invited to participate in mitigating those issues. Really, this is not a task that in a project we can accomplish by ourselves. We need the help of all the stakeholders to do that. And as far as our quality reporting, we periodically report in how many lessons learned have been mitigated, and the value that they bring to the project as a whole. Well, this innovative spirit of transparency, use augment the trust on the processes and procedures, and augment the chances of success of the project. So, with that said, Ahmed, back to you.
Thank you. I remember on that line. I remember one of our clients always said, "I want you to protect me from myself and from my team, because you have a different vision." So, just wanted to mention that. I think we're right about time, so we can leave some time for questions. I want to thank you all and all the participants for being here with us today. I will hand it over to Ian so he can give us the final words, and then we'll move forward to the questions. Ian?
Yeah, thank you again, Ahmed, and thank you for everybody that's joined today. Thank you very much for the team that's put this chat together, and hopefully through this conversation we've touched upon how, by being innovative, looking to drive change, and with investment in new ideas and technologies, we can get better results with our partners and for our clients. So I've seen some questions coming in. If you've got any other questions or comments, then please add them to the chat, and we can hold a discussion for the last few minutes that we've got here together today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And we agreed that all the questions we're going to hand them to Carolina. So we're just going to leave right now and let her answer the questions. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and start the first question. I have a question from Jerome Jackson. Thank you for submitting the question. His question is there a set universal standard and guidance based around innovation and sustainability that can be integrated within the planning application process for building and infrastructure? And if I recall, I think Carolina did want to answer this one on somewhat.
Yep. Actually, I haven't seen an universal standard for innovation itself, because I think that that's a little bit part of being innovative, to have particular solution that fits particular problems, that we are not stuck like a standard solutions for each problem. But there is a guide for sustainability, and there are standards for sustainability that we have seen that many of our mining clients are following, and we are also obliged to include them and consider them in any solutions we provide. And those are mostly regarding the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and also the Mining Sustainability Council, that there is an international council on mining that established some of the minimum sustainability requirements. We all agree that this now it's like the minimum, right, the bottom level, that we have to, right, go further and think about how to include our communities and benefits of the stakeholders from each of the projects we are developing. So it's key to keep all this established, this guidance for sustainability in the plan and in the process for building and designing any infrastructure.
Right. We want to leave a baseline that it's ready for the next people coming over to take over and support our future kids. It doesn't matter what country you're from, that we're all looking for the exact same thing. So I agree with you, Carolina. I have another question over here, and I think I'm going to move to another person. And I have a question for Sushil Kumar. He's asking, what innovations are taking place in mitigating the environmental damage caused by mining? And that question, I think I will hand it over to Octavio.
Thank you, Ahmed. Yes, good question. Well, the example that I gave in kind of innovation is one of the mitigation strategy. Keep in mind that nowadays this tailing dam is losing water through infiltration, and this is a contamination, a pollution in that area. So it's a gain-gain situation. If this client achieved to recover that water, the mitigation will be less, and at the same time, this mining client will get more water, and again, will have to avoid to use continental water. Another good example is that we all know in this session, I guess, is that the mining clients are no longer using continental waters. They're using desalination. You can see today many examples in the north of Chile, which is a very good news. And let me tell you another example. In last year, we were studying the alternative to use treated wastewater for mining operations as an option to use desalination. This is very challenging. According to our preliminary studies last year, it is feasible. It is feasible. So whenever a mining client has that option to use treated wastewater instead of desalination, it is a good option as well. So I hope this year or the upcoming years we continue making those studies, because up today no mining client here in Chile at least is considering that option. We are the ones studying that option, and I hope we can share that that results anytime soon.
Although many companies are going towards the zero liquid discharge, which the same water, they want to recirculate that water as much as they could. And that's something that I think many companies are going for. So thank you very much for your response. I have another question right here. Let me see. Question, I moved my, there you go. Question from Simon Forshaw. Are Black & Veatch now a consultant, or are they taking EPC risks? And I'll let Ian respond to that.
Okay, thank you. I'll give a very brief answer because I'm not sure this is directly linked with innovation, to leave some time for everyone else. Or maybe, Simon, you see a link there that I'm missing. But yes, we are. And in different places. We want a balanced portfolio. I think it's well known that over the years the clients have wanted to place more risk onto contractors, and there's been a lot of contractors that have fallen foul and have gone bankrupt over the years, I guess. And so we want a balanced portfolio in both consulting and EPC. We have not carried out in Chile EPC work to date in this division that the team here is working in, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't if the conditions were right in the future. And as a company, we have about a 50-50 mix throughout all of our different divisions and departments. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. I think we have time for 2 more questions, so I'm going to go ahead with a question from Carlos Sousa. How do you guys assess that systems such as Bentley's can open flows, water waste jams, etc., can help or be indispensable in innovation processes? And I will have that question to Vasu.
Yeah. Actually, a very good question, Carlos. Sometimes we talk about innovation, but then there should be a place and time for it to innovate, right? Oftentimes the client wants a true and tested process, even if it is not the most efficient or the best available off the shelf. They want something that has been done by, say, 20 other people before them, and everyone knows the pros and cons of that process. But off late, because of the much more challenging situations and also the focus on sustainability, the clients have been asking us, hey, can you look at some innovative technology that has a significant benefit in some area, either sustainability or carbon emissions, cost, reliability, or even treatability. The ones that current technologies cannot treat. We had a client recently that clearly specified that they do not want like a completely developed technology. They want to innovate. They want like a technology at a level of TRL 4 or 5. And the client said, no, we don't want to take a risk. We want at least a TRL 9. And TRL is a technology readiness level that has been developed by NASA, so that when you come up with a new technology, it tells you where the technology is. Has it been lab scale, bench scale, or being implemented? So sometimes these days the clients themselves are asking the level of technology that they want to address. Like Rene said, we work with the clients to meet their objective. We cannot force fit, but we always propose any innovative solution that is out there and all the benefits when a specific problem comes up. I can't speak to the specific 2 things that you have asked because those haven't come up in the last few months, at least that I can recall. But that's what we do with any new technology.
Thank you, Vasu. And I will ask you the last question very quickly. We have only 3 minutes left. Ivan Rivera, which I think if it's the exact same Ivan Rivera, our friends, and he used to work with us. Are you guys working on projects on reuse of brine from desalination plants?
Yeah. Hi, Ivan, if it is the same Ivan. Actually, we have looked at, in fact, Ahmed mentioned the zero liquid discharge. Where you basically take your water and all you get out of it is wastewater, your pure water, and then the salts or whatever is there in the water. One of the freeze technology that I mentioned, for example, we looked at selectively taking salts out of it, not all the salts in one pile, but can we take sodium chloride first or last, calcium carbonate or ferric iron out of that one. So we have been looking at that in several scenarios, evaluated them. We have the costs, but at this time, not many clients have actually gone to that because there is still, some energy requirement and the cost considerations that should be taken into account. But we have been doing testing at different levels to treat the brine.
Thank you, Vasu. I'm going to stop right here because I only have 1 minute. I see a question from Kashif Ahmed. We will try to respond to that via email. I want to thank everyone who participated today from our team, our marketing team who supported us, all the people that submitted their questions, all the people that joined us via LinkedIn. Thank you all for your participation. Merci infiniment. À très bientôt. Hasta luego. Inshallah, نشوف بعضنا. مع السلامة. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.